An honor. Thank you so much for giving us some time, man, here on Fight Week.
Gentlemen, you look great, first off. I like those shirts, both of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Chael. It's like a Friday tradition. It gets us festive for the weekend. You know what I mean, man? We're excited for a fight week.
Oh, I love it, man. Hey, I'm at the arena right now. I try to get a back room so that I could kind of be quiet to talk to you guys. But I get high. I get high on these days. I can barely sleep the night before. I got to throw something at you. So we're sitting at the arena. They're doing the weigh-ins, the face-off. We're building for tomorrow. But in about 3 hours, Francis Ngannou and Joshua are going to box in the Middle East. I'm still trying to get a feed for it. I'm just telling you to remind you because a lot of people don't even know that is today.
I know. It's weird that it is on a Friday. Chael, there's a media room there. There's a ton of TVs. You keep walking down that hall. I know exactly where you can maybe peruse and find a place. Just keep looking for that one that has the fancy sign in front of it outside that little lounge that you're at. But man, I don't know, what is it? Why is it on a Friday? That is very strange.
I was in Saudi Arabia last week. There was a PFL event, and I was the announcer for it. So I got to be there. You know, there's something about that. Francis was there, and Mike Tyson was there, and John Jones was there. And I know I'm dropping names, but it's the point because we're in the parking lot for the PFL of the building where they're going to do this fight. And just for example, like this fight isn't sold out. They only sold about 15,000 seats. And I don't know if that's a geographical issue where Riyadh is just not a huge fight population yet, right? It's simply not Las Vegas. It's not Miami. Or if they're not interested in it, like, I don't know. I can tell you that I am interested. I wasn't in Francis's first time because I thought he had no chance. He's now made me a believer. I want to see what he can do.
Same here. It's unbelievable. I thought he was going to get crushed by Tyson Fury, and now this guy's definitely every bet that he made on himself seems like it's paid off. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Before we get into this card coming up, the news yesterday: Mike Tyson taking on Jake Paul. What was your reaction to this? We were talking to MVP yesterday, Michael Venom Page. He is like, I'm worried about Mike Tyson. This seems too old to be doing this. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'll give you a couple of thoughts, and I am more than aware that I am likely wrong, but I'm going to go on record with it anyway. I have read 5 reports of that, including at ESPN.com, who I work for, including at TMZ Sports, which is a pretty good source. Nowhere has it said that they are going to fight or they're going to box. It has said Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. It said Jake Paul agrees to Mike Tyson. I can't help but tell you, I feel like the swerve is getting ready to come. This fight makes 0 sense. I mean, let me, before we get a hater on the contest, let me just share the business side. There will be no sponsor for a young man to beat up an old man. There's no sponsor that subscribes to that. They cannot sell seats. I just gave you an example of what Joshua and Francis are selling right now today. Let me give you another example. Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor sold 10,800. Now, they were at a much higher price point, but that was in the fight capital of the world. They're going to go out to Texas. I don't care if you're doing them for $5. You don't have a market. Most importantly, who's going to host it? Now, boxing exists for one reason. There's always a bigger fool willing to lose money. In this case, Netflix is brand new, and I'm sure the people in boxing sunk their teeth in onto them and got Netflix to be willing to lose a pile of money. But aside from that, you got 2 strikes and 1 possibility. I don't think these guys are boxing.
Man. All right, so we got the fight coming up. And by the way,
you can't get that. Gentlemen, you cannot get that analysis anywhere. That is one of a kind. That's why you came to me.
There is a place you can get the Good Guy, Bad Guy, the new show with Chael Sonnen and Daniel Cormier. I saw you guys on the ESPN MMA YouTube page. Beautiful Port of Miami for your breakdown of UFC 299. How excited are you about this project with DC, Chael?
I love it, man. I've got to tell you, and you guys would be able to relate to this. Like, publicly, you love it, you want to get the word out. But inside, your ego is directly related to what that rating is each week. And we live on YouTube, so not only are we audited against fellow competition, we are publicly audited against fellow competition. So I got to tell you, I'm excited about it, but like, I'm not letting my guard down. I really hope it turns out to be a good show.
This card, the one thing that shocked me, Chael, this is supposed to be the Sugar Show. Sean O'Malley, obvious why, he's had the rise that he's had. But that press conference yesterday, man, it felt like Cheeto kind of took the crowd from him. I've been blown away by seeing the support from Cheeto because, he talked about this last week with us. He was like, I already get this heroes welcome my country, and it's felt like it's traveled here. What have you thought about the crowd reaction that Cheeto has gotten in this main event face-off?
I love that you had the courage to bring that up, because that is the number one most important thing, right? It's not about the left and right hands. It's about what do the fans want to see. And I'm glad that you didn't mind admitting that. I don't mind admitting that either. Cheeto turns out to have the it factor, and we didn't know that. I don't think he knows that about himself, and he's not up there trying. He's not trying to make people like him. He's not trying to get clicks. It turns out every now and then you get a guy that's just genuinely interesting. He appears to be pretty interesting. I mean, between the two of them, O'Malley works harder, is more flashy, wants to be the bigger star. Between the two of them, Cheeto is more likely to stab you in a parking lot, and there's something compelling about that at times, right? Like, he's got this rough, edgy. I was into it too, man. I thought he was killing it up there.
How do you think the first matchup of this matters? Like, the fact that he has a win over him, even though Sean, had the leg thing that happened, does it matter that he's already beat him?
Absolutely. Now, I will tell you the real secret that nobody else will. Both of these guys already know who's going to win this fight. The problem is, as we're sitting there judging them, we're trying to figure out which one is bluffing. There is one or two fights a year that doesn't fall into what I just said. Both guys walk to the ring knowing who's going to win the fight. And every now and then there's a punch and you can surprise yourself. But aside from that, I mean, I'm just sharing, like, the animal kingdom's real. Everybody knows who's who. Everybody watching this right now, if I was to ask you who the baddest dude in your high school was, whether you were a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, everybody could give me an answer, and nobody saw that guy fight. They didn't have to, right? Everybody knows who the baddest dude is, and I'm just sharing with you. I really do wonder between the two of them what they both left that first fight with. And I've even heard people debate it. I was there live. I thought that Cheeto was getting the best of him, but a lot of other people say that's wrong, including the odds makers. It's very close, but O'Malley is officially the favorite.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because we were talking about this all week. The underdogs on this card, I kind of think are crazy, and I'm very biased because I love Dustin Poirier and I love Gilbert Burns, South Florida training guys. So, like, I have an affinity for him. I understand, but Chael, these newcomers are coming in there. I feel like Dustin is being disrespected against this Benoit Saint Denis. What do you think of the co-main? Does Dustin have a shot here?
They are completely wrong. This is inappropriate. It is so wrong. Dustin is not only not going to lose this fight, he's not going to lose a round. I do not know where this narrative or idea came from. And by the way, both numbers don't lie. Well, we got two different numbers here. We got a rankings room that has Saint Denis at 13 and Poirier at 3, and we got an odds maker that at one point had Dustin a 2-1 underdog. They can't both be right. So do we fire our odds maker, or do we clear out the rankings room? Because one of them is way off. I'm rolling with the rankings room. I don't think Dustin has a hard time. It's not because Saint Denis isn't a complete stud. Dustin's that damn good, not to mention it's 5 rounds. That changes things in Dustin's favor significantly.
You've called fights for Bellator. What are the UFC fans in for with MVP?
MVP is fun. Listen, you have 3 ways as a fighter to entertain the fans. You have your in-ring performance. You have what happens immediately after the fight, but you also have a walkout. Now, the great stars, the Conor McGregors, the Floyd Mayweathers, they'll give you 2 of the 3. And nobody can really get all 3. I mean, now you're starting to get in like Tyson Fury territory. There's really, truly not very many guys. MVP will dance on the way to the ring. He'll put on one hell of a show when he's in there, and he'll say something fantastic before he goes. I mean, like, this guy can do it all. I will also share this with you. Historically, guys making their octagon debut do not perform to their best. Now, sometimes they get the outcome they want, but they generally don't perform to their best. To give you a couple examples, Hector Lombard came over 22-0, lost. Wanderlei Silva came over, ranked number 1 in the world, lost. Eddie Alvarez is a lock for a future Hall of Fame, lost his debut. So I do expect MVP to underperform. That doesn't mean he can't still win. There's a meaningful gap, at least in the stand-up, between MVP and his opponent.
Put that down, Marcos, for our crazy underdog parlay, just so we know.
Yeah,
He's giving us the goods there.
Yeah.
Chael Sonnen, you guys can see his coverage this week. ESPN Plus pay-per-view is where you guys can buy UFC 299, his new show, Good Guy, Bad Guy with Daniel Cormier. Chael, before we get you out of here, man, down here in Miami, we know Jorge Masvidal is down. What the hell's going on? Is this legit beef going on with you guys? I thought you guys were cool. I watch your YouTubes. You seem to have always had respect for Masvidal. Has this flipped? Is this a gimmick? You guys are really going at it right now?
And I appreciate you saying that, because I see it the same way. I think of George as a friend. He's only asked me for a couple of things ever. I've only asked him for a couple of things other, but we both jumped and were there for the other one. I don't know where things went bad. But I got to take a guy at his word. And if George and 5 of his scumbag friends walk up on me, they're going to quickly find out they should have brought more people. Oh, by the way, before we go, what's your co-host? He's not talking to old Chael, but he's got something against good-looking badasses. Doesn't he want to pay a couple of compliments to the? Doesn't he want to say, thanks for coming on, that type thing?
He's muzzling me, Chael. This is what I wanted to say, dude. Is it true that I am looking at the reflection of perfection, the man who gets all the attention? Am I looking at the man with the biggest harm, with the greatest charm, the man in Chicago who will do harm to guys 3 doors down? And I want to know, BT, Tobin, he's muzzling me, Chael. What are you going to do when the man of steel is here in Miami, dude?
As you mentioned Chicago before the 3 doors down, only you and I know what you're talking about, but that was a beautiful job, my man. Hey, I got to tell you this straight up. I don't know what's going on with Masvidal. I had enough of it yesterday, and it puts me in a little bit of a tough spot because I'm so much bigger than him. So it puts me but I had enough of it. Yes, I accept. And they made this Paul versus Tyson announcement. So I went right to Paul and said, me and Masvidal, Paul's got a good relationship with Masvidal. I said, me and Masvidal, co-main event, let's get this done. Paul wrote back, I'm in with exclamation points, and then recontacted me and said, hey, there's an announcement that I can't talk about, but Masvidal's already signed to do something with somebody else, so he's not available. I only do bring that to you. When you call a guy out, the guy either answers or he doesn't. I answered, and he's the one that's not showing up.
Oh, man.
Like that.
Catch him this week, man. The bad guy. Nobody better. Chael Sonnen, thanks for the time.
I've had it with you both. Goodbye.